webinar. I'm just going to talk for a couple minutes so that we have people log in and sign in. It's always so much fun to be able to get together and chat or visit. It's a bit of a faceless video because you hear me and I don't see you. So, but anyways, it always makes me excited to be able to do these because I feel like we're staying connected within the nail technicians world and in our group. And I think that this is always fun. Just out of curiosity, how many of you were able to join the webinar that we did last month, where it was an invitation webinar? I think it went quite well. I felt it went quite well. We had quite a few that joined, and we featured doing a sculpted acrylic daisy nail, which was a lot of fun. If you're not sure what that what that is, not sure if the video has been posted to our YouTube channel yet or not, but definitely go check that out because it was definitely a lot of fun doing it and a lot of fun interacting with everybody there. So anyways, again, welcome. My name is Darlene Tavitz. I am NSI Global Educator as well as Corporate Educator for NSI. And it is, again, always such a pleasure to join together with you and to just say a hi and to chit chat and to feature products. And so, as you know, NSI is a family-run business where we manufacture our own products, and we are always striving to be better and to get better and to be able to produce and manufacture products that nail techs want, need, and are using within their salons. And today we are featuring the No Wipe matte top coat. I know that we have in the past launched some no wipe top coat or matte top coats that haven't quite cut that bill, but we've got it this time, and I know we do because I love it. I've been using it for quite a while already, and it is super matte and super velvety, and you just want to be petting your nails because it just feels so smooth and so soft. So that is what we're going to be looking at today, as well as we're going to look a little bit at the carving gel. This is not an art demo video, okay? So no judgment as far as, well, why don't you do this or that? I just want to be able to show you the product today and play with it a little bit to show you some of the things that you can do with it so that it just spurs on your imagination. And hopefully we start seeing some really great things that you are going to tag us on. So without further ado, I'm just going to do my regular setup here and get my camera flipped around. So please be patient with me for just a minute while I get things turned around. And unfortunately, you do have to look at my ceiling for just a second. Oh, and now my feet, lucky you. Okay. Let me know if that's close enough and if you can see, or whether or not I need to move it down a little bit closer. Okay, so matte top coat. Here we go. Here we have our brand new NSI Matte Top Coat that is LED UV. It is HEMA-free and it is a no wipe. Now I am going to go over a few little things that I have found that you do need to do with your matte top coat, especially if you're going to be combining matte and shiny. So because there is a little bit of a trick there with some of that, because even though it is a no wipe top coat, you do have to give it a little bit of a wipe in the area where you're putting your shiny top coat, because there is just a slight little, I don't want to call it a film, but anyways, you'll see here in a second. So, all right, so here we've got our no wipe top coat, and you can notice that we have got a matte black or gray top to it. Now, I don't know if you've noticed with our other top coats, anything that is now a gloss top coat will have a shiny lid. So you've got our original Essential Seal, which it has a tacky disbursement layer that you do need to wipe, that is soak off. Then you have got your gel top coat, which is also HEMA-free and no wipe, which is soak off as well, and is a shiny one. So if you're looking for a shiny top coat, you'll notice that our Glaze and Goes all have switched to a chrome type lid, so it will be easier to kind of decipher when you're looking at them which one you want to grab. So in a lineup, this is what, oh, I guess I should move that down, sorry. This is what they are looking for here. Now, I've mentioned this before in some of our other videos. HEMA has really become a topic in the nail industry and within the nail news. HEMA is not bad for you. HEMA has been used in a lot of nail products for adhesion, but what has happened is that some people with overuse or misuse have developed allergies to it. So you have to be aware. You want to look for no HEMA-free. If you are needing to have something that is HEMA-free, Essential Seal is not HEMA-free. Okay, so just keeping that in mind, just touching bases a little bit with that. So I just wanted to show you. I just prepped a nail here where I just painted down some black. It does not have a top coat on it right now. I've used the cream gel palette, the number 15 palette, which has the very black in it. And I just want to show you the consistency of the top coat as you're working it. I do like to have my brush loaded, if that makes sense. I'm trying to get it so that you can see the light here. I want to be able to put my top coat on, and this is any top coat. I don't want to leave streak marks behind. Okay, so don't press that hard. So you can see, because I really pressed hard. See how it leaves lines behind? I like to have, so I'll dip my brush into the bottle. I like to wipe off the back side of it, leave the front loaded, and then I'm brushing down, stretching, but in kind of a hovering type motion, okay? And then I use the light to help me with that reflection to make sure that I've got really great coverage all the way around, and then I will cure it. Now, I do like to cure my top coats, my no wipe top coats for 60 seconds, okay? Now, you may think that 30 seconds is good, and you've got a great feel to it, but I do find um, with the shiny top coat, if you want to have a really good high gloss shine, don't do 30 seconds, do 60. Okay. And I find it's the same thing with the matte top coat. If you want to have a really good shine or a really good covered in matte, I like to do 60 seconds for that as well. Now, when the timer goes off, yes, it's matte, it's smooth. Oh, I got a bit of lint in here. There is no tackiness to it. Okay, which is great. But let's say now I want to do some embellishments. So this is where I use some of the carving gel. Okay, and I left some parts shiny and then some parts matte. Where if I went and directly went over top, so let me just show you here. So this is my matte top coat that I just did. I'm going to take my shiny top coat, and let's pretend I just did something on it. I will do something on it, but let's just pretend I just did something on it. And now I want to cover it with my shiny. Do you see how it's kind of separating a little bit here? And I think it's because there's that a little bit of an adhesion layer where the two are fighting against each other. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with it, but you just have to remember you're using two different types of top coat and we want them to marry together. So just take your cleanse and give it a good wipe, and you'll see. So this one I haven't wiped. Notice how much matter it has become. Okay, so just give it a wipe, and then you can do whatever it is that you want to. And this is for design. Okay, I'm talking about if you wanted to do some design art or something like that over top. So just give it a good wipe if you want to do your shine. Okay. When I'm doing nail art, so I've just got my palette here, and I've just got a dapping dish here with some cleanse in it. I like to have my brushes nice and clean while I'm working. But when I like to do some art over top of a nail, even if it's, let's just say I used an opaque gel or an opaque acrylic, and we want to leave that. We're not putting a gel polish color or anything like that, but I want to put art over top of it. I like to put the matte top coat down and then do my art on top of it. The reason being is that when I brush on, brush on the color, sorry, I meant to grab this brush, it's like there's a little bit of grip to the matte top coat and it doesn't slide. So when I go to brush down, it doesn't, my brush doesn't slide off, okay? And it has a little bit of a gription to it, okay? And that just really helps when you're doing your nail art, especially if you want, if you're doing layering, okay? So really make sure, put your top coat down, your matte top coat down, and I guarantee you're gonna notice a really big difference in the application of how your paints go down or your palettes go down, whatever it is that you're using for your medium for art. But you will notice it just, the brush doesn't slide off like it sometimes can do over top of your gel polish or your base coat or something, depending on what is it exactly that you're doing. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of a doodle where I'm going to turn this into a butterfly. So sorry, I should have had that prepared here right away. I need some white, so I'm going to combine my Tech gel here a little bit. So I'm going to use my white Tech gel and my detailer. Okay. So because I've used black as my back surface, I need something to have for contrast. So I'm going to use white as my body. Okay. And then I'm going to do some detail for the wings. Just so you start to get an outline. And you can always take your client's hand, because I do that sometimes when I have to work on the other side. I will turn their hand upside down, because somehow I sometimes can't always go in the right direction the opposite way, if that makes sense. Okay. I'm just going to give that a quick little freeze. Just going to stick it in my lamp for just 10 seconds or so. Just want to make sure that I can cure all of that together, and then I can put a little bit more embellishments in there. But you'll see here right away when I start to put some of the carving gel on top. So it's like what you want shiny, what you want matte, and especially if you're doing design and it's going to be matte all the way, you don't have to worry about wiping it. But if you are putting some parts of it to be shiny and some parts are going to stay matte, then you do have to make sure that you do give where it's going to be shiny that wipe. Okay, so it's just a little hint there on a little bit of what you might need to do. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna put a little bit of this sparkle in, because what I want it to do is hopefully it's gonna pop when I put the a little bit of glitter in here when I put the carving gel over top. We're gonna so the no wipe top coat can be used over natural nail. So if you're doing a natural nail manicure with gel polish, you can use your matte top coat on natural nail. You can use it over top of acrylic and of course over top of your gel. It is great for over top of poly paste as well as Simplicity, whichever medium you want to use. Okay, so I've got that there. So I'm going to do this as a full cure now. One thing, just as we're talking here and I'm waiting for that to dry, one thing that you do have to kind of realize that there are some top coats, for example, your glaze and goes, that may be too hard for your gel enhancements or your rubber base enhancements, meaning that your Balance Elite or that your rubber base might have too much movement in the gel itself. And then when you put a hard top coat over top of it that has virtually no flexibility, sometimes you'll get those little hairline fractures, little cracks in the tops of your nails. So if you've noticed that on some of your clients' nails or on your own nails, what is your core product as far as what did you build your enhancement with? Did you build it with rubber base or did you build it with Balance Elite? And then what was your top coat? I find here in Canada where I live that the glaze and go, I love glaze and go over top of acrylic, but I have a hard time with it over top of rubber base or gel because it'll crack. So then you have to use a gel that has a little bit more flexibility. So that's where you're going to, where you'll go to your no wipe top coat in the shine or the matte, or you go to your seal. So if you've had problems with that in the past, that is just a little sidebar hint. Okay, I just want to look a little bit here at the carving gel. And I have kind of come to love the carving gel a little bit. Now, I have to play with it a little bit more. Oops, can I get that lid off? Okay, I have to play with it just a tad bit more still. But what I have found is if you have rubber spatulas, okay, you can use a hard spatula as well, but I have found that the rubber spatulas, oh, call me a liar now, they're great for making the impression. So if it's, think of it as kind of like your 3D art, like you're doing acrylic 3D art. Okay, so I've just got a little metal spatula here that I'm going to take a little bit out and see it's kind of got a bit of a string to it. Okay, now less is more when you're doing some of these. So I know I should have gloves on, but I didn't grab them because we really don't want to be touching product, but I'm going to put it down on a mat on a thing here because I want to just have half. Okay, I'm going to take that little half and I am going to just press it onto my one wing. Okay, so I've got a silicone pad that, or brush that has a point to it. Yes, you can use your 3D brush, your HD 3D brush. You can use it. Okay, but I have found the silicone does work just a tad bit more. So what I want to do is I just want to press it out. So it's kind of giving the outside of the wing a little bit of dimension there. Okay, and then I will give that just a freeze. So let me show you here. For example, I did some fruit, seems to be a real big thing here again. So I did some lemons, and then I did a slice of lemon where I did the rind. I put down, I rolled out the carving gel, I placed it down and I cured it. And then I took some of our tech gel color and painted it over top and then made a bit of a slice of lemon with some sparkles in the middle and then some fruit over top. Okay, so I got this side just tacked in, all right. Do the same thing to the other side. I'm gonna just I'll do it on opposite sides so that you'll kind of get a comparison as to the look. Stay there. So you could, by taking your silicone, you can kind of carve, especially if you're doing leaves or something, that's great. You can carve into it a bit. Okay, and then I'm going to cure that. So it does need to have 60 seconds, but I'm going to put a top coat over top of it. So I'm going to use my shiny top coat because I want you to be able to see that. So I'll just put a little bit down here on the palette. And then I will use my detailer brush and then brush that on, okay? So when you put the shine on, that's when what's underneath it kind of pops out. So you can start to see, because I used a little bit of that sparkled gel in the palette. That it starts to come through. So it just starts to give it a little bit of life. And some dimension. So you can kind of see you've got some dimension there to it. And yeah, and then cure that for the time allotted. So it will be 60 seconds again for this particular one. And there you go. So fun, fun, fun. I also did, so again, I was kind of messing around a little bit where I did some pigment powder on the bottom that I um, rubbed into, so I had a base coat down and I rubbed some pigment powder into the base coat after it was cured into that tacky disbursement layer. And then I covered the whole thing with my matte top coat. And then I went in and I just drew using my detail or my HD brush, just went in and did some flowers. And it's funny how when you start doing some of it, it always looks a little bit, it can look a little bit disjointed where you're like, well, that doesn't look like a flower. But once you start getting detail in, so yeah. I love shiny on matte. I don't know what it is. I just love having the two-toned look to it. So you can see here the pink is really showing up great against the black. Okay, and I'll just give that just a quick freeze. So just going back to this one here, you can see now I've got my shiny, oh, sorry, is that out of focus? My shiny wings or petals or fruit or whatever it is that I'm making, okay? All right, so then I'm going to take another pink. Layer that. And what I like about the palettes too, see how they leave a little bit of texture behind? I like it when it leaves texture. I think it looks really cool. Okay, so I'm just going to freeze that again for just a little bit and then combine a little bit more with another color. I'm going to use this lighter pink here. And I'm just going to go a little bit on the inside. Whoops. Perfect. And then cure that up. And then I'm going to go back to my, and this is where the detail comes into place, where all of a sudden now it starts to look like as if it's not just a blob or something. So sometimes you just have to trust the process and go along with it. So I'm going to go and just put some detail around it. Okay, I like the softer look to it better than the harder look. So I'm going to just press that out. Is there any questions for the no wipe top coat at all, or any of the top coats for that matter?
No questions have come in yet.
Okay. So you can see once you start adding a little bit of detail, how it starts to take a little bit of shape, and it's all by layering, giving it a little bit of form to it. Okay. So I'm just going to cure that. And then I will take I've got a little bit still here of my shiny top coat, and I'm going to put it over top of my flower. So I've kind of just rushed this and went through it quickly, but you'll see how it just gives a really nice pop from the matte to the shiny. And remember, I wiped this nail when it came out, when I first brushed it down and cured it, so it's been wiped already. Okay, and then, I mean, if you wanted to, you can take your detailer brush and add a little bit of design to that. Where once that's cured, that too will be shiny. So let's give that a cure. And then you will be able to see how that turned out. So yeah, so it's I love the matte top coat. Like I said, it's very, very velvety. Like it's very, very smooth. I found that it has worn very well. It doesn't over time. I found sometimes top coat or matte top coats, they lose their matteness and kind of almost become a dull shine, where I have worn the matte top coat for a good 3 weeks and have not run into any problems where it's lost, like I said, that shine. There is no grip to the nails. So I know this sounds really funny, but I like it when a top coat is nice and smooth, so that when I go and I run my finger down it, it's not like it's kind of scraping down there. So this one here is cured, so you can kind of see where there's a little bit of shine together with your matte. And of course, if you wanted to, if you've got some chrome, you can rub some chrome onto those shiny spots. You will have to layer it again with your top coat so that you make sure that the chrome stays, but very easily that can be done if you have some chrome. I know NSI doesn't sell chrome, but it's just we're nail techs. We all have these things kicking around. So if I wanted to, oops, I could just use an applicator here. Go ahead and put that shine on. Now what I would do is I would put my top coat over top of my little doodads that I've done there, my little line design. And then when you cure it and you wipe it, so I'll just go in and cure that as we talk. When you go in and cure it and then you wipe it, what's left onto the tacky disbursement will stay. So that little bit of overflow, don't panic about it. So it's lots of fun. Or you do a couple of layers of your top coat to kind of build it up. Or I've even was playing around with using the clear Balance Elite. So I'll just go to this one here, Balance Elite, where I would take a little bit. Now you have to watch, because if it's heavy, it's going to self-level, right? So I don't want it to be too much, but let's just say I drew a little line like this. So it's going to be a little higher. It's going to be more of that 3D-ish. And I cure that. Now you'll have to also put a no wipe top coat over it. So it's a little bit more finicky here. Okay, so let's just go back to this one here. So there, you can see where I've done my lines with some chrome on my no wipe. Now you can have that. And there's a lot of fun designs that are out there where you're using your matte and your shiny top coat. And I think it's a lot of fun. So just going back to the balance. Whoa, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. A little malfunction. Meant to grab my stick. I would have to, before I could rub chrome into my stick. Let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, so it's rubbed into that tacky disbursement layer of the Balance Elite. Okay, then take your top coat, your no wipe top coat, go over top of it, cure it. And again, it's very similar to what I just did here, but this one isn't quite as raised as what the Balance Elite would be because it is a thicker gel. So there's nothing, you can have some fun with it. It's like I said, I really enjoy doing the no wipe and the wipe top coats together. I think they're fun. And then of course, incorporating some of the carving gel, which I always make shiny. The carving gel, when you cure it, it's not tacky, but it doesn't have really a really nice, like a pure shine to it. So I do find you do have to add a little bit, like a top coat of some sort to it to give it that really nice shine. Otherwise, it does kind of have that mattish type of a look. Okay, so this is the Balance Elite. And there you go. So you've got a little bit more of a raised 3D. You just have to, again, it's knowing your medium. The Balance Elite self levels. So depending on what it is that I'm doing, you may not want to, but you could use your Tack gels because they do dry tack free, and incorporate then some of your chrome if that's what you wanted to do, or the same thing with your carving gel. So there's so many options of what you can do, combining your matte top coat together with your shiny top coat, together with your carving gel, and just having some fun while you are doing art, or just a nice plain old matte top coat. I love as well. So that kind of wraps up what I was hoping and planning on showing to you today. So I don't know if there's any questions or comments that anybody has. I would love to answer them. Anything out there, Isabel, at all, or?
Nope, everyone's just been saying that they love it. It looks like fun and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is fun. I think what I find I have to do for myself, I have to, you're so busy throughout the day working with clients and teaching, educating, doing that you don't have time. You don't sit down and you don't play. And that's one thing that I find I just have to do is sit down and play with the carving gel. Take some of those techniques that you might know about acrylic 3D, where, you might roll out the carving gel like you were making rose petals and just incorporating them. But again, it's sitting down and having time and just playing with it. But like I said, I love the combination of the no wipe top coats being both shiny and matte. And I do believe that we have come out with a duo kit where you can get a matte and a shiny together in one kit. So that's really exciting as well. Isabel, do you know if we'll be coming out with 8-ounce refill bottles for any of the top coats, or is it still to?
It's still in the works.
It's still in the works. Okay, so that would be wonderful if we could have something like that, because I think, yeah, just having the refill bottles work really great. But some more testing has to go along with that, and hopefully keep our fingers crossed we can see that happen. But if that is, just gonna flip you around. Sorry, don't always like talking to a screen. If there are no other questions, we have not set a date yet for next month or the topic as to what we're going to do, but keep your eyes open for it, and we'll come up with something great and something exciting once again. So looking forward to it. Yeah, and that's all I got for you today, guys. So I hope you have a great day, a great summer, the rest of your July, and we shall see you sometime in August. So bye for now.